We're cooking quinoa. We're cooking quinoa.
David Lynch is one of the most acclaimed and talked about filmmakers of all time. His work has reached such a level of superstardom that every teenager getting into film has had at least one of his movies in their top 4 at one point or another. Blue Velvet, Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive, Twin Peaks, Dune, all classics. But David Lynch also has a lot of short films, and they are mostly horrible. So today, we are ranking each and every one that I could find on the internet. This was incredibly difficult. A lot of these shorts have no explanation, no fans, no story or characters. They are annoying and difficult to watch. So honestly, let's just get into it. What is the worst one? What is the worst thing this legendary filmmaker has put out? To kick off this list, we have the iconic masterpiece Dead Mouse with Ants. Short, 6-minute shots of a dead mouse with ants swarming it. This might give you a pretty good look into David Lynch's mind. It's 2002, and this man has made some of the most incredible and iconic films that come out this century. Fans love him, critics are challenged by him, and he just makes this. This is full on being weird just to be weird. There's no meaning behind it. The fact that this exists is inherently funny, but other than that, it is nothing.
What in the hell is this? What?
Anthead is a fascinating 13 minutes straight of ants crawling around something. I'm not really sure what it is. Baby head, cheese, it's not clear. I think this speaks for itself. This man needs to be checked on. This is currently the last thing he has ever released, ever. Like, seriously. It's been 6 years since this, and he has not put anything else out. Someone please check on this man. A woman with no legs writes a pandering letter while David Lynch takes care of her wounds. This is really boring. It's one shot, dives headfirst into the territory of being weird just to be weird to get a reaction territory. Boo this short. I have nothing to say because it is nothing. Moving on. Sunset is literally just a time lapse of a sunset for 6 minutes. David Lynch, please let me live. This is just nothing. Why is this an official short film in your filmography? This is something my dad would post on Instagram Reels. Stop it. Lynch comes back from his 5-year short film hiatus with a banger. 4-minute time lapse of a flight of stairs. God damn it, stop making these, Lynch, please! This is a short film. There are moving pictures and there is sound. It exists. I do not have anything to say. It consists of Lynch himself covering his eyes while pieces of Van Gogh, I think, fly around and shit. A disgustingly rendered pig of sorts very slowly walks across the screen for about 3 minutes. Thank you, David Lynch, for this masterpiece. Please let me out of your basement now. A ballerina performance edited to become a very eerie and ambience experience. Again, could have been excellent as a good 3-minute short film, but this thing's 12 minutes long. I swear, it's not just like I have a terrible attention span. This was just so drawn out. Try and sit down and watch the entire thing and stay interested, I dare you. This one follows Lynch himself scolding and yelling bees being for about 12 minutes straight.
You bees being after which bees being looking in that refrigerator for your food.
gets old after about 5 minutes. It has a pretty gross ending where his real son's legs come off, but Lord, the pacing is just so bad. Also, a concerningly high amount of fart jokes. Just falls flat in the end, hate to say. A man walks up to a girl with whiteface on and
He's pulling his cock out!
pulls flowers from his dick hole in his pants. Then he falls over. This is one of Lynch's first short films ever, and you can tell. Visually it is atrocious, and I got absolutely nothing out of it. You can tell he's just a young filmmaker and just wanted to film whatever weird thought he had when he was snorting LSD. Don't really know if I can explain this one. It's pretty repetitive and doesn't need to be 4 minutes long. I don't think it needed to be made at all, to be honest. But the animation is pretty impressive and unique, and it does make you feel like you're about to throw up. This is a historic short film. David Lynch's first ever. Some random shots of his friend and mentor, Bushnell Keeler, and his brother sailing. Wow, how heartfelt. I have nothing to say because this is the most nothing 2 minutes and 53 seconds of film I have ever seen. It exists, it's just... let's move on. As an Inland Empire defender, this feels like exactly the kind of thing that would show up in the movie, so it's pretty weird and cool. I love seeing how Lynch shoots with that digital camera. It always gives an aesthetic that is so unique and enhances whatever is on screen 10 times over. And what is on screen in this short is something. Once again, I cannot explain it to you if I tried, but it's worth watching if you want to feel slightly confused and bored.
These days, life is backwards. Don't you know?
David Lynch and some helpers install the Disc of Sorrow. I love seeing the man himself in these shorts. It's like seeing a glimpse of God show up. This is another basically nothing short film, but it's cute, it's harmless, whatever. A bug crawls on top of a house and falls, and that's it. Not bad if you watch it in ×2 speed. This one's pretty cool. It has unnerving background visuals and music, and just the randomness leaves you kind of creeped out by the end. Not bad. As stupid and drawn out as this is, it took more effort and creativity than some of these shorts. So, yay. Lynch is improving. I'm trying to comprehend why he made Blue Velvet and then nearly 20 years later was like, yes, this will add a lot to my legacy. I'm a big Dancer in the Dark fan, so this was pretty interesting, but again, it is 10 minutes of practically the same thing. Could have been a solid 1 minute short film. But it is interesting, an animation of different objects making music in an industrial aesthetic place. It is very eerie to say the least, it's unique. You can tell this is the same guy who made Eraserhead.
They say that it's a grain, the only grain that's a perfect grain. Now come over here and take a look at how much sand.
Quinoa. This is a fan favorite, mostly because it's become sort of a meme in the Lynch fan base. I'm sorry, but after watching about 25 of these, I could not enjoy this. It's basically the same as Lamp, but shorter. So, better. We just watched David cook some quinoa for 20 minutes. He was pretty entertaining and quirky, but not enough for a 20-minute short film of just the same thing. Sorry, Lynchians. I've yet to watch The Straight Story, but if it's anything like this, I will stay not watching it. This thing is long. Genuinely feels like a goofy SNL skit at times. Some of it is some good comedy between this Frenchman and this group of cowboys, but most of it feels just so unfunny and unnecessary. Genuinely was a struggle to get through this. It could have been a solid 10 minutes. The rest is too much. An unnerving series of shots depicting the events following a murder. I wish I could like this more, but for once with these shorts, I wish it was longer. He is rationing us with the content in this. It genuinely confuses me why you could take all the time to film something like this and just make it as short and as basic as possible. Not bad though. Fictitious antacid commercial is a parody of what I assume were annoying 60s antacid commercials, and it's just pretty funny. We see a man in an open field kind of freaking out and going crazy. He's clawing at his face and stuff. Then for about 1 second, we see an old man. We see an old man hold up a box of antacid. The man from before takes some and skips off feeling A-okay. It's simple, it's cute, it's honestly pretty funny. It's harmless. I like it. Again, do not know what to say about the plot of this. You kind of just have to watch it yourself. This is one of his longest shorts, and although paced pretty horribly, this one is just so interesting. No real dialogue, and following a frankly disturbing plot about parental abuse. This thing is a lot to unpack. It's gross and uncomfortable. The animation adds a unique aspect to what is a majorly dark and confusing short. It also clocks in at about 30 minutes. The white face is back, and while I can't draw a single conclusion about what the plot is, it evoked more confusion and made me more uncomfortable than most of his shorts, so I plot it in that aspect. It really is just weird. I have nothing else to say. It's the first one on this list I actually recommend you watch. Pretty good. This one is so funny. It's a weird trip where this girl is narrating a boat scene, and it honestly kind of sucks you in. It's like B-roll footage, but it's great. I feel like I'm having a nightmare, and then David Lynch just appears out of nowhere. It's just some random shit, and it's honestly really funny. It's just him on a boat. It's great. You can't hate it. This one was made after a composer made a musical composition as a tribute to Lynch himself. And besides being annoyingly slow, which I've gotten used to at this point, this thing is pretty great. The animation is demonic. The gray and dreary atmosphere created is one of Lynch's best. It's just these scary ass character designs in front of this horrifying composition. The images here genuinely stuck with me more than most of his shorts. And the music is obviously great. This one I definitely recommend checking out and doing some research on your own. This one, I could not explain what happens in it. If I really tried, I could not explain what happens in this one. But it's pretty great. Lynch continues to get more and more experimental, combining animation with live action, as this was one of his very first short films. And without using any resemblance of a plot or characters, he gives us some pretty unnerving and disturbing sequences. It's definitely worth a watch. You can see the beginnings of him experimenting with horror and gore, and it's very cool to watch knowing his first film would go on to be the masterpiece, Eraserhead.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
We made it to the big ones. Ooh, these are all 3 out of 10, 3 out of 5 or better, man. Ooh, it's getting good. Blue Green is actually kind of great. It's just a small girl running around this large and creepy looking industrial setting, and the ambient music accompanying it is genuinely pretty scary. It's short, too. Just this little child running around, the creepy characters she runs into, the chilling laughs that just sort of periodically appear. It's a very unnerving and weird short. It's like he finally mastered what he started to do in so many of the shorts before this, but failed because he made them way too long or way too short. It's perfect here. Bravo, Lynch.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
So, we meet in a train station. Jack? You know anything about birds, Jack?
I've heard the phrase, birds of a feather flock together.
Oh man, this one's incredible. A rare instance of the absolute randomness of the project working to its benefit, making it a genuinely very funny project. David Lynch plays a homicide detective who interviews a monkey whose name is Jack. Honestly, I don't even want to spoil this one, as I think you should actually go check it out for yourself. It's very interesting and weird, the best way possible, very funny. It didn't leave me wanting to give up on filmmaking like a lot of these short films have. It's great. Like, you can't hate this. It's a monkey. It's a monkey. It's funny as hell.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got 2 letters for you. F you, stamp licker.
We've arrived, ladies and gentlemen, to the peak of David Lynch. It pains me to say this, but this might be the best thing David Lynch has ever created. The only way I can describe it is true Kino. Yes, Dumbland is very dumb. That's all it is. Stupid characters, drawn horribly, doing stupid things. But honestly, it's amazing. It is just so funny. Like, there might be something very wrong with me, but this shit is fucking hilarious. Just 8 episodes with simple plots, and you can clearly see the influence of his old shorts here. And it's paced well, and they're all at good lengths, and he takes everything that he's done before, and it comes together perfectly here. I enjoyed this more than most of Lynch's actual movies. Not that that says much, but just pure enjoyment. It's the best thing ever. Just the simple archetypes in all of the characters work so well. The main white trashy man is just so funny. Just the character designs alone deserve the top spot. It of course also has the classic David Lynch weirdness. There's truly nothing else to it. It is just really funny and well paced for once. I truly applaud you, David. You've made a short film I can rate higher than 3 stars. So yeah, that's it. I made it. I do not recommend watching all of these. It was honestly such a pain to get through some of these. Some of them are they're just memes, and they're so long and bad, but I see what he's trying to do here. I'll be honest. I see what he's doing. He's being himself. He's staying true to his form. It's like modern art. You hate it, and you're like, I could do that, but like, you didn't. Like, you didn't think of that. He did. So it's kind of impressive, and I'm glad I watched all of them. So I hope you liked it. Subscribe, please, please. Lynch won't let me out of his basement.